guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing a eye tutorial. This is going to be a very fun and informative one. It is how to create an easy smoky eye for the summer time. So I wanted to recreate it, but I wanted to add a twist by doing a summer version of it because we are in summer and I feel like this is the time where we want to do something a little smoky, but we still want to keep it like summer vibe-ish. I'm obsessed with this makeup right now. Like, I do not want to take it off. I feel like it's perfect. If you're looking for something on a budget, this is going to be your tutorial. So if you want to continue watching and see how I created this look right here, then please go ahead and do so. Okay, so we're going to be starting our look with the e.l.f. Matte for Matte 2 palette, which looks like this. I am super excited to be using this palette because not only is it affordable, but it has all the beautiful summertime shades in here. So the first shade we're going to go ahead and go into is this nice cream shade right here. We're just going to be taking that all throughout our eye and just kind of get rid of any type of creasing there maybe. Then we're going to go ahead and move into this shade right here. And we're going to start building in our crease like this. Back and forth. Whenever I start with the crease, I like to really go ahead and use a nice fluffy blending brush, and that's because I find that it does a really good job of diffusing that color as much as possible. And also the color that you put on your crease, you always want it to be really blown out and really dimensional, especially when you have hooded eyes. You just want it to give you the most payoff so that when you're looking straight up, you can still see that color. So we're just going to be taking that all throughout. And then we're going to be going in with the next shade, which is the shade right next door, as well as this shade. So we're going to mix these two colors together. And we're also going to be taking that back and forth. But with those two shades, you just want to go in right here. You don't want to drag it upwards too much and can really start to create that dimension for the look. So once we go ahead and do that, we're going to go in with our Delium Tools blending brush. And we're going to start blending those three colors together. But on the edges, you really want to go in circular motion so that you're able to really diffuse the color as much as possible, because I find that those outer edges tend to be the ones that have the most harshness. You really want to go about diffusing those outer edges as much as you possibly can. And then you can start going back and forth towards the middle. And you really want this smoky eye to be kind of more of a softer smoky eye, just because in the summer you do kind of go for those softer vibes. Which is why I'm kind of just doing it like this. Okay, so for this part, you can go ahead and just draw out your crease area with the shadow, or you can go in and cut the crease. I decided to go in and cut the crease just because my crease folds. So I like to really have that like nice sharp crease that will really create a separation from the actual eyeshadow I have on my crease to the actual lid work. And it actually works out for me because the crease that we created right here by cutting the crease is very similar to the color we're going to be using anyways on our lid in this area. Now, I didn't go ahead and cut the crease fully. I kind of just left it in this midsection right here and really slowly and very subtly diffused out the concealer that we used right in this area, because we just want to make it as diffused out so it blends right in with the color that we have on our outer edge. Now you're going to see me use the next shade, which is this one right here that we used at the very beginning to kind of set our space. And we are going to be placing that right onto our lid. We're going to be taking a MAC 242 brush. And this part is literally as if I was showing you how to cut my crease. I literally just kind of go in there like this and cut it. And I also really quickly want to say, if you're working with matte eyeshadows, which is what we're doing for this entire look, you don't have to go ahead and cut the crease because you don't have shimmers that you have to worry about kind of like transferring over to your upper part of your eyelid. So you can go ahead and just do this, but literally all you're doing is going where that lid space is and really creating that. And I'm going over with this nice shade just because I want to make sure that the concealer is set and that I don't have any issues with it later breaking apart or anything like that. Then we're going to take a more precise brush. This is the Morphe M506. And we're gonna go ahead and take this shade right here. It's a nice like brown shade. It's kind of like a cool brown. And we are just going to be placing that on these outer edges. And the reason I like to use this Morphe brush is because it does a really good job of packing on color, especially when you want like to pack it on in those really precise areas, but also blending it out very nice and seamless. It does a really good job of doing those things for you. And we're gonna go ahead and take this darker brown right there. Now that's the darkest brown out of all the browns that we have in this palette. So you really wanna be light with it, and we're not gonna really be taking that much. But you really do want to make sure that you pack it in that edge, because it completely changes the look. It adds so much dimension and so much depth into that outer edge that it really makes it look very, very nice and really makes it stand out, as you can start to see it stand out. These e.l.f. eyeshadows are so beautiful and they blend out so nicely. And then whatever you have left of that dark brown, you're going to go ahead and begin to kind of drag it outwards. Then we're gonna go back in with our Delium Tools blender. And like I taught you guys earlier, you wanna make sure that you diffuse this outer edge in circular motions to really, really diffuse it out as much as possible. And don't worry too much about it looking messy or you feeling like it needs to be nice and sharp, because we're gonna go ahead and take care of that when we do our concealer. Right now we're just worried about really getting that shade nice and clean there. And because we're doing a summer smoky eye, you don't want to fully dig into the black smokiness. So that's why we're just smoking it out with our browns. And that's why I went from lightest brown to darkest brown. So it really has that nice diffused appearance, and it really gives it nice depth in between. And then we're going to be taking a fluffier Delium Tools brush, which this is another one of my favorite blending brushes. And we're just going to really diffuse that outer part. Circular motions once again. And then just very, very nicely blended, and making sure that you tie the nice white shade, cream shade, and the browns right on the lid. Because you don't want it to look like you have like a huge separation line between this cream and then this brown. So you really want to go and diffuse it out and just make it look super nice and beautiful. So now we're going to be taking the black eyeshadow in this e.l.f. palette, and we are going to be drawing our eyeliner. It's going to be very smoked out, so it's just going to go along with the smoky effect look. You do have to go in with a few strokes of the black eyeshadow, just because you're not using an actual gel liner or a pen. So it's not going to give you the intensity that a gel liner would give you. And then we're going to go back in and kind of intensify it a little bit right on this edge, because it's a little tiny harsh and we ain't effing with the harshness. So it's kind of back and forth. Okay, so now for lashes, we're going to be using our Ardell Wispies, but we're going to be using the Studio Effects Wispies. These are in the Demi Wispies. So these are a little bit more dramatic than your typical natural Demi Wispies that everybody loves. The reason I like to use these from the drugstore is because look at this. It gives you such a full effect. Like, it looks like you have like a full-blown lash, but it still kind of gives you that like natural vibe. The band is super, super lightweight. It doesn't even feel like you have anything on. You still want to be able to see what's going on behind the lash. So that's why I like to wear these when I'm doing like a nice smoky eye, because it just gives me that really good lash effect, but it still gives room to see what you did in the back. You don't want to put all that hard work to waste, you know what I'm saying? So as you can see them right there, I am going to go ahead and cut the two outer edges just because I want it to look a little tiny bit more natural, not so flared out. So I'm going to take my scissors and just cut out two little bulks of it in the end. I always recommend these lashes to anybody that's just starting into makeup because they're so lightweight, they're so easy to apply, and throughout the day it doesn't even feel like you have a lash on. It just feels like it's your natural lash. I also like to let it get a little bit tacky when I apply the glue, because if you apply it with the glue really, really wet, it's going to be slipping and sliding all over the place, and you're not going to want that. I also use tweezers to apply it because honestly, I have long nails, so I can't really apply it without fucking up with my nails. So I just like to put it at an angle. And first I just apply the middle. Then I do one of the outer edges, like that. So like I mentioned, first middle, then one of the edges, and then you go into the last edge, and you kind of hold it down. If you feel like it's being a little bit stubborn, just kind of hold it down wherever you feel like it's being stubborn for a few seconds, and then once you feel like it's lashed on, just let it be and release, and voila. You have the lash on, and the eye is pretty much completed. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to our concealer. So for concealer, I'm going to be using another affordable product. I am trying to base this tutorial around affordability just because that's kind of what I based around with the palette. So we're gonna be using the ColourPop No Filter Concealer. I love this concealer. So I'm just gonna be going in with 3 stripes like this. And then I'm gonna be taking my sponge and just blending it out. The reason I wanted to share this part of me applying concealer was because when I go in with concealer, once I've done my eyeshadow and I've done that smoky eye, I like to go in and be very, very careful when I'm going around the edge of where we did our eye makeup, just because we spend so much time working on it that I want it to still have that preciseness. And then we're just gonna go ahead and bake it because you guys know I have to bake. If I don't bake, shit goes left real quick. And today I'm just going to be baking with my big Morphe M443 brush. No, M433 brush. I said M43, whatever. You guys know what I mean. It's M433. Really hit it with the powder, and we're using airspun powder right now, and it's getting all over my black shirt, but hey, you guys can't see that, so it's a-okay. And this is just gonna lock it in case you guys are not sure what I'm doing right now. But now that we are baking, we're gonna let this bake. I'm gonna finish some other little things, some bronzing, and then I'm gonna come back and show you guys some products that I've been loving that are new that I haven't shown you guys on camera, things that we are gonna use on the face, and then we're gonna finish off the eyes with some cool little tricks and techniques to make your smoky eye look a little bit more hot. So stay tuned. Okay, so I am back looking a little bit more snatched than we did last time. Now we're gonna quickly go ahead and finish up. So the last thing I wanna go ahead and do in the eyes is do a little bit of a white liner in the lower water line down here. I feel like me doing this technique does such a beautiful job of really opening up the eye and making it look so much bigger. I feel like for me, you never will see me really apply black liner on my waterline because I just don't like how it looks. I feel like it makes my eyes look smaller. So I found that it's really good to apply white liner. And the white liner that I've been using is the NYX retractable eyeliner. It's like a crayon in the color white. It looks like this, it's skinny. It's not in the big jumbo one. I find that for me, the big jumbo one just looks really ugly on my eyes. And I feel like it's too white. I feel like this one is kind of like off-white. So what I like to do, apply it in the waterline, and it really opens up the eye, as you can see. It makes it look a little bit more summery because we definitely still want it to look summery and nice and fresh and not so dark and like vampy and fall-esque. And I really would recommend using this one over the big jumbo pencils because I feel like the big jumbo pencils, they can just get a little too creamy and cause your eyes to water a lot. I feel like these kind of just keep that nice consistency, and they're super duper skinny, so they do a good job of really getting in there perfectly. And then we're gonna go ahead and take our nice Morphe brush. This is the M508. This is one of my favorite brushes of all time to smoke out the lower lash line. So we're gonna be going back into the e.l.f. Matte for Matte palette, and we are going to be taking this brown shade right here next to the black. We're not gonna be taking a lot of it. We're only gonna be taking a little bit of it, and we are going to be using that to just apply on our outer edge. And drag it back and forth so that you can really get that smoky effect. And we're not gonna be taking it all the way because I find that when I take it all the way through here, it looks like a raccoon eye. So I just go ahead and take it on this outer edge. It also kind of helps go along with the whole elongated effect and kind of how there's still some darkness on this edge. It kind of keeps that consistency of there being a little bit of some dark shadow down here. I feel like no smoky eye is complete without you really dragging like a dark color on the lower lash line and really kind of giving it that last smoke down there. So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go ahead and finish off this look with some highlight. So I really am so excited to talk about this highlighter because it's drugstore. It just came out. I actually was very lucky and fortunate enough to receive a package from Pixie. Thank you so much to the Pixie team for sending this over to me. And I was like, I wanna try these highlighters because they look super cool. But I saw these highlights and I was like, girl, come to mama, you guys know. This is the Delicate Dew highlighters and you get 2 of them like this, as you can see. The one that I've been using is this one because it complements my shade better than this one. I kind of use this when I want to do like a little bit of a nose highlight, like at the tip of my nose to give me that kind of like shiny nose. Or if I want to use this as like a inner tear duct color, but today we're not doing that. We're just going to go ahead and use our highlighter. So we're going to be using the darker it has like a nice metallic, almost wet looking effect. And it's not so like intense, but it gives you like that perfect highlight. I love it so much. Pixie did such a good job with these highlighters. They also have one that's more light if you guys are more fair. Okay, and the last thing we're gonna go ahead and do is apply our Maybelline lipstick. Now I've been obsessed with this color ever since I purchased it. I'm all about like these shades right here. This is like my life. But this is the new Maybelline New York Vivid Hot Lacquer. So beautiful. This is in the color Unreal and you're about to see. It's like a nice consistency where it's still like glossy looking. It's not matte or anything like that. And I've just been a big fan of this. And also it smells really good. You guys know I'm all about the scent. So you guys can see this lip is literally so beautiful. It's so wearable and I just love how it has that glossiness. It lasts for a long time. I've been wearing this a lot lately and it will last. It will really, really last. Okay, so this concludes the look for today. I really hope that you guys enjoyed learning some of my tips and tricks to create the perfect summer smoky eye. And it's also always fun when I can use something that is affordable. So thank you so much for tuning in and watching this tutorial. And if you're new to my channel, please, please, please go ahead and subscribe. I would love for you to become a member of family here on YouTube. I wouldn't want you guys to miss my videos for the world. So that being said, I'll be seeing you guys very, very soon for a brand new video. Bye guys.